Obviously, I was there for a lot of phone calls at different times of the day and night, and I have a very clear idea of what it takes to be prepared and ready to not only answer the phone, but then to make the decisions that are required depending upon what the crisis is.
For the record.
Well, I'm Hillary Clinton, and I'm running for president. I'm in, and I'm in to win.
Hillary Rodham Clinton's presidential potential has been a topic of discussion among her peers since the 60s.
For 35 years, I have been making positive differences in people's lives.
That would take us back to 1973, the year she graduated from Yale Law School and went to work for the Children's Defense Fund, interviewing juvenile offenders and dropouts. Over the next few years, she moved from one success to the next, serving as a staff lawyer on the House Judiciary Committee as it considered impeaching President Nixon during Watergate, teaching criminal law at the University of Arkansas, and heading the Legal Services Corporation, a nonprofit which represents the poor. She had been appointed to the board by President Jimmy Carter. In 1979, the year her husband became governor of Arkansas, Hillary Rodham, who had raised eyebrows when she declined to take his name, became the first female partner at the prestigious Rose Law Firm in Little Rock.
Because there were so few women, and particularly so few young women, kind of involved in traditionally male venues. I mean, clearly her mere presence probably turned some people off.
Arkansas's First Lady decided to take a shot at reforming the state's abysmal education system.
I really believe that our young students need as much personal attention as they can get.
It was a tough sell involving the largest tax increase in the state's history and testing for teachers.
Hillary went out into the state. She held public hearings, I think, in all 75 counties, and she very effectively disarmed her critics.
The people of our state...
Her grassroots victory would go down as one of Bill Clinton's most significant gubernatorial accomplishments.
So help me God.
It prompted her husband to hand her an even larger policy initiative as soon as he won the White House: health care reform.
Now is our chance to beat the historical odds and give the American people the health security they need and deserve.
Mrs. Rodham, can we ask you a question?
After 2 years and countless hearings, the 1,300-page plan imploded. Defeated but not deterred, Clinton set her sights on more manageable goals, like creating the state children's health insurance program and increasing vaccination rates. And behind the scenes, she got the last word on so many issues, staffers had a nickname for her: the Supreme Court.
Nothing but the truth.
It was her idea to tap Janet Reno for Attorney General and Madeleine Albright for Secretary of State. Her stance on NAFTA has become a point of contention in job-strapped Ohio.
She said that NAFTA, on balance, had been good for New York and good for America.
Publicly, she supported it in those early days, but within White House walls...
She had grave reservations about NAFTA, was probably against it, thought it originated correctly with Republicans.
I've been to more than 82 countries.
Mrs. Clinton likes to cite her extensive travel, more than 80 trips as First Lady, as part of her foreign policy experience. She promoted microfinance in Latin America, peace in Bosnia, and famously, human rights in China.
It is no longer acceptable to discuss women's rights as separate from human rights.
I noticed in the debate the other night that she said that she had played a role in the Irish peace process, the Northern Ireland peace process. But in fact, there really isn't any evidence that she participated in any negotiations that led to the Good Friday Accord.
This Christmas, let us remember the reason behind why we light Christmas trees. Let us remember the reason for this great holiday celebration. And let us remember that we seek peace most of all for our children. May this be one of many, many happy and peaceful Christmases in Northern Ireland this year and for many years to come. And may God keep you and bless you and hold all of you in the palm of his hand.
Northern Ireland, and a lot of commitments coming forth. Something that I will continue to work to try to facilitate and bring to fruition. It's wonderful to see them both and to reminisce about some of our times in the past and to talk about what we will continue to do to support them in their efforts on behalf of Northern Ireland. Working on behalf of the peace process, and
I noticed in the debate the other night that she said that she had played a role in the Irish peace process, the Northern Ireland peace process, but in fact there really isn't any evidence that she participated in any negotiations that led to the Good Friday Accords.
We appreciate very deeply that you've taken time off at this time. We're all old hands at electioneering. We know what it takes out of you. We know the calls. And we look forward to you seeing fruition in Northern Ireland on the economy. And we welcome some of the advice that you've given us, and we will certainly look into the matters that you've raised with us today. We do need help from people that know the American market and know what is happening in the American market. And we are not saying today we're with a begging bowl. We're saying you come with us and we will do you good and you'll do us good.
That's exactly right.
Yes, and that's what our message is.
And can I say thanks to the Senator for taking time out to come to meet with the First Minister and myself today. These are wonderfully exciting times for all of us back home. Not least because of the contributions made by President
Hillary Clinton's role and relationships factored into nearly every scandal that rocked the Clinton White House. Whitewater, an investment deal gone bad with friends from Arkansas. Travelgate, where she allegedly participated in the firing of 7 White House travel office employees. But multi-million-dollar investigations turned up either no wrongdoing on her part or not enough evidence to prosecute. And the only Clinton investigation that did stick had decidedly little to do with the First Lady.
I am happy to answer the grand jury's questions.
She has called it the greatest adversity she ever faced. But instead of retreating from public life, she decided to run for office herself. Like Senator Obama, she faced a relatively weak Republican opponent. Unlike Obama, she shunned the spotlight her first few years in office.
She went into the Senate not as a show horse, but as a workhorse.
Learning the Senate power structure, landing a coveted spot on the Senate Armed Services Committee, and reaching out to former Republican foes. She teamed with Bill Frist on modernizing medical records, with Tom DeLay on foster care, with Lindsey Graham, who had led the impeachment effort against her husband, on benefits for veterans, and with Newt Gingrich on health care policy.
When we were agreeing so much with each other, I think people thought the end is near.
The most fascinating thing about Clinton in the Senate was to hear the conservative Republicans who had gone back home and often advanced their own political careers by using Hillary as the great whipping person, going around saying privately, and for some of them publicly, wow, what a nice person and what a terrific colleague.
Her vote to authorize the Iraq War in 2002?
And we say to him, use these powers wisely and as a last resort.
Still haunts Clinton on the campaign trail.
Hillary Clinton voted for a war in Iraq that should have never been authorized.
She has won over her adopted state, cruising to re-election in 2006. Last year, she steered more money to her state than all but a handful of senators. $342 million worth of infrastructure projects, defense contracts, and other earmarks.
Her record in the Senate has been one of finding allies in strange places, and after a period of building confidence, then using her celebrity not to take credit for everything, but to get leverage.
Now she is taking credit for her accomplishments and hoping to use them as leverage to win the White House. But spotlighting her past successes draws attention to the failures and controversies, too. Multi-million-dollar investigations turned up either no wrongdoing on her part or not enough evidence to prosecute. It's time for a second Clinton White House with a different Clinton in charge.